I'm Luke Wooten, and we are here at my studio, Station West, in Nashville, Tennessee. Station West is a studio that we founded in 1998, a 3-room recording facility. We've got a tracking room, an overdub room, and this room, which is the West Wing, where I do most of my mixing. We've been really fortunate to have some awesome artists come through here. Brad Paisley, Kelly Pickler, Dustin Lynch, Dirk's in here recording. It definitely doesn't feel like work. Probably one of the most fun things that we've done recently is starting Warehouse West, which is an artist development company and publishing company. And so we find young artists and try to help them achieve their sound and hopefully be a launching board for major label signings and success. Jordan Brooker and Alana Springsteen and Tracy Lynn are artists that record here, and we release their music, and in just over 2 years we're at like 50 million streams, and they're all kind of taking off in their own ways. And there's something about the energy of an artist when they're just launching that's infectious, and that's always the goal, is to try to help the artist. Like, what is that voice they're trying to get out there? What's the sound that they're trying to convey? Get what's inside their head coming out of the speakers. I think my favorite part is mixing, just because it's when all of that work kind of comes together, and there's so many hours of work that go into making a record, but the mixing is the icing, the part where you get to share the music. When we first started in '98, half the sessions we were cutting on 2-inch tape, half of them were on Radar 2. Within 5 or 6 years, everything moved into Pro Tools. And so instead of calling and getting a couple rolls of tape for your session the next day, you needed to make sure that there was enough hard drive space and you had everything backed up properly. OWC, it's kind of our modern tape machine, because whether it's the hard drives or the chassis, or just with all of the different connections you have to make, OWC, that's kind of the brains of the whole operation. We use the OWC storage for literally everything. We're recording to the solid-state drives, then we've got a series of RAIDs set up. Whenever we go take something to another studio, it's on an external SSD. We're working on a record right now with Brad Paisley, and he's got the identical setup at his place with the OWC RAIDs and SSDs, and we're constantly bringing files back and forth from his place to here. The interface that we use to kind of connect all of the drives is the Thunderbolt dock, and it allows us to take Thunderbolt drives or USB drives. I mean, you can have more terabytes than you would need hooked up at the same time to do transfers and extra backups, and that's the main hub for all the information coming in and out. And when you're transferring from the SSD to an external SSD through the Thunderbolt dock, it's just like literally you just drag and drop. It could be 20 gigs and it's done in several seconds. In both studios, we ended up maxing out the RAM with OWC RAM. In Pro Tools, when you set the buffer size, where you literally have the entire project in RAM, it's just, the workflow is so much faster. Across the board, technology in recording has made things more efficient. I mean, I feel like we can get faster mixes, crazier sounds, and things that wouldn't have even been possible, 10, 15 years ago. Anytime that you're able to decrease the time that you're doing something monotonous like transfer, it's just inherently going to give you more time to be creative and maybe try out a new plug-in or try some sort of reverb trick that you wouldn't have either thought of or had time to think of because you were waiting on something to back up, or rewinding, all of those things. And, that's kind of an exciting part of modern music, when you can use these new tools as an extra form of creativity. So it's super nice.
OWC, the speed to create, the capacity to dream.